Hello and welcome to another edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I'm your host, Rod Wilt, and I am the Executive Director of Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we are Mercer County, Pennsylvania's certified economic development organization. Our motto is Make It in Mercer County, and our role is to create low-cost financing solutions for recruiting, retaining, and growing jobs and business opportunities in every corner of our county. The sole purpose of this program is to showcase people and organizations that are making things happen here. We interview them to find out why they have chosen Mercer County, Pennsylvania as a great place to live, learn, work, and play. We are producing this show in conjunction with Thiel College students, faculty, and staff, and we're coming to you from the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios in the James Pettis Communications Center on Thiel's campus in Greenville. If you would like to connect with our Improvement Movement team to see how you can make it in Mercer County, please visit our website at penn-northwest.com or give us a call at 724-662-3705. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Penn-Northwest Development Corp. Or connect with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope that you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business, and today we welcome to our program Dr. Anthony Cause. Tony, thank you for being here. You're the Director of the Business Administration program here at Thiel College. Talk to us about how you came to Thiel.
Rod, it's a pleasure, and thank you for having me today, and
Sure.
It's a great opportunity, and I sincerely appreciate it. I've been a lifelong educator. I spent 33 years at a previous institution.
Wait, that was YSU, right?
Youngstown State University.
Yeah, great school.
That's where I received an undergraduate degree in accounting and finance. I also picked up an MBA there, and I went on to Kent State University and picked up a PhD in strategic management.
So your connection to the Mahoning Valley was what? Were you raised in that area?
Actually, I was born in Western Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I grew up right outside of Newcastle, a little town called West Pittsburgh.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you had to go to the airport, you had to go through West Pittsburgh
That's
before
right.
76 was built.
That's right.
So I lived there for the early part of my life.
So if you live in West Pittsburgh, what high school would you go to?
Newcastle.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Okay.
We were right on the border between Newcastle and Shenango, and I went to Newcastle.
Okay.
And like I said, I went right to YSU out of high school, and then before I actually started pursuing an advanced degree, I spent about 8 years working at Rockwell International at the axle plant.
So you graduated the undergrad.
Yep.
Joined the workforce.
Yep.
Decided you want more education.
I did. And
Great.
I decided to go back and pick up an MBA. And along the way, I got my MBA. I had an opportunity to teach in the MBA program at YSU. Actually, I was a grad assistant and I was teaching undergraduates.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed teaching a lot. They made me an offer to stick around. Said you can stay as long as you pick up a PhD.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I ended up going to Kent State University. And I have a degree in macro organizational theory, which is a real fancy way of saying strategy. And my undergraduate is micro-organizational, or my minor is micro-organizational theory, which is human resource management.
You got to take it easy on me because I'm the only one in my family without a master's degree. But as this MBA program at Thiel keeps marching forward, who knows? Maybe it'll be I'll do something like my 60th birthday or something. Maybe
you know what? We got plenty of room, and actually having, it's a real nice lead-in because the way the program works, it's designed for everybody. And what I mean by that, and I guess before I get back into it, I left YSU, and the reason why I left YSU is I ended up, I was a tenured full professor there. I was MBA director there twice, once for about 5 years.
So you've done this before?
I have.
Okay.
And I was also a special assistant to the dean in the College of Business for about 10 years. So I had a great career at YSU. I enjoyed the challenges. But when I saw this opportunity open up in my home, I lived right outside of Greenville in a little town called Transfer.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw it close to my house. I drove past Thiel many times, not knowing what was here. And I saw the position for an MBA director. I said, here's a challenge. And, Thiel, when I applied, I was able to come up here and interview. And I met our president, Susan Traverso. I met Liz, who's our academic dean. I met the people in the department. And I also had an opportunity. They were smart. They let me have lunch with the students.
Yeah, that's all. I know that's always part of the recruitment process.
And you know what? They knew what they were doing. I'd met our students, going through, and totally impressed with the caliber of students who were here. And, in talking with the leadership team at Thiel, the idea was they wanted to add a little extra to what they were doing. Thiel's primarily a small liberal arts institution. They look at it as an opportunity now to expand into some master's programs, of which the MBA program is one. Speech language pathology was another. And they're also going to kick off a PA program here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I hear that's been really widely accepted.
It
Hundreds
has.
and hundreds of applications for just a few spots or something. So
There
that's
there
good.
are, and I work with the other program directors, Lynn Williams for PA and Mary Beth Mason for SLP, and we kind of have a little group that sticks together and kind of works things through. And they're all seasoned in what they've done before, so this isn't their first rodeo either. And Mary Beth kicked off last year, and she was able to put, I believe, 13 students through. We had our inaugural MBA program last year, and PA is starting now. So this is it's an exciting time for Thiel.
Yeah, that's great. Your first class was what, about a dozen students or so?
Yeah, that's about it. And we started that way, and we graduated, a number this past May. One of the things that's really attractive, at least I think, about the program, it's an 11-month program. That means that you can come in, you can get started, and you can finish in less than a year. The whole idea of the program is that it's experiential. You learn by doing. We're a small institution. I got faculty members who are highly qualified in the program. They've all done something before in their lives besides academics. We have a CPA. We have somebody who was literally who took a small company, private company public and rang the bell on Wall Street.
Oh, that's cool.
We have a lawyer who argued before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. So
And these are the faculty that are teaching in the program.
They are.
And they're teaching undergrad and graduate.
They are.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's just an amazing group of faculty. And what I think what really sets us apart is that we're small enough that our students really enjoy the ability to connect directly with faculty. There's not a large auditorium with 70 or 80 students in there. It's a small cohort group that goes together. They understand each other. They work well, with each other, but they also really get a chance to know our faculty. And we can talk about the idea of the things that they've done in terms of being able to recommend internships or jobs after graduation. So it's just a very small, close-knit group, which has a lot of benefits to it.
So it seems like you have two different groups within the program. You have those that are just coming out of their undergraduate, maybe continuing their athletics, and they want to use up that last year of eligibility so they can do it as a grad student. And then you have that non-traditional student. And then from what I understand, you're also rolling out a program for the business community where you can do some sponsorships and things like that.
You're exactly right. And for the guys or gals who are the fifth-year students that are coming through, it's highly experiential. We do require a grad assistantship on campus for those students.
So that happens first, like in
It
the
does.
first semester.
It does. They end up working 400 hours on campus.
Okay.
And by working 400 hours on campus, they will work in an area which they have interest in. So they might be working in advancement, with Roberta. They possibly could end up in the finance area. We've had them work with marketing. We even had a student who was interested in buildings and building maintenance, and he was able to work with facilities.
So in that way, they're actually contributing to the success of the institution, short and long term, then as well.
Well, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Because Thiel is getting the benefit of having students who already have an undergraduate degree and who are eager to learn, are willing to put the time in, 400 hours over the 11-month period, and they really make a great contribution to Thiel. In return, though, these students are getting 400 hours of good work experience. Now, many of them have done undergraduate internships already,
Okay.
but still, another 400 hours worth of experience, along with, we do a required internship course for all the MBA students. I can guarantee you when somebody graduates, even as a fifth-year student, there's not going to be a question of whether they're qualified for a position. Many times, the rub you hear about students going straight through. Now you got 2 degrees and no experience.
Okay.
That doesn't happen here.
Interesting.
So, there's always the required internship in the MBA program, the GA for the students who are going straight through. So when they graduate, there's plenty of experience. The other thing we do also is in many of the courses that they take in the MBA program, we work with businesses, and there's a project attached to the course, with a business. So not only are they picking up things, from a textbook, we're understanding experiences from, a faculty member who may be serving as a resource. They're actually working with the businesses in the community to get experience while they're in those courses on real projects. Again, those projects give them experience. Those projects help the community.
Yeah, and we've taken advantage of that at Penn-Northwest, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But uh, as I look at the program, it really does fit hand in glove with one of our goals at Penn-Northwest, and that is, and this is something I didn't expect to get involved in as deeply as we have been over the last few months, and will continue as a very high priority into our next fiscal year, which starts in July. But my big audacious goal for the business community and the education community in Mercer County is to bring them together so that no matter where anyone steps off the ladder in education, there's a job opportunity in the county waiting for them. So, your ability to reach out into the county and place these interns around the county, hopefully will keep them here. One of the biggest problems we have with all of our institutions in the county is we're bringing students in, we're educating them, and then we're sending them back out
And
and
again, they're
not
they're
retaining them.
they're getting world-class educations,
Yeah.
and they're familiar with the county. That they're used to living here. It's a shame to watch them walk away and go to other places. And I think the problem is, it's not that there's not opportunity here, they're just not aware of it. And I think that's where, you guys kind of step in and really, are able to showcase to our students what's available to them. And also, I think that some of our companies now will really be able to see, the caliber of the people that we graduate. And it seems as though those are two separate worlds. And, through your hard work, you're being able to bridge that. And I think that's gonna make all the difference it's a win-win for
Yeah,
community, students.
it's really a holistic approach to economic development, and one that we've looked at, and that's just integrating our K through 12 public schools. We have, two blue ribbon schools in the county, and the others are right behind them in terms of quality. Then we have Butler Community College fills that niche there. We have great trade schools. We have the Mercer County Career Center. We've got Grove City. We have Thiel doing undergraduate and graduate programs. So now it's how can we as an organization showcase the work and the product and the kids and the students that you're putting out there, and getting them placed in the county, as I said, to retain that intellectual capital. We had 3 of your students this year in our office, and you talk about real job experience. We threw them right into our COVID hospitality industry relief program process, what they called the CHIRP program. They were evaluating financial statements. They were matching up a company's qualifications for the program with what the state was looking for. They were participating in grant awards. And so it was really great for them to get their hands dirty on that stuff. But then we also had one of your students work with us on our customer relationship management program. We had a hard time figuring it out internally. In a few weeks' time, one of your students got us up and running. So that was really, really cool. What are some of the other things that students that I wasn't aware of were doing as part of that internship program? Where else were they placed?
Well, I think some of the students did some things that are different. I know that one of our students has a family-owned business, and she was able to take that business and work in an entirely different area that which she's never worked before.
Okay.
And by doing so, she got some experience and, did some things that were probably not part of her regular job, and she probably wouldn't have the opportunity to do.
Okay.
And, I read the reflection she wrote about it afterwards, and I talked to her, and she said, you can't believe how far this is going to advance her career because, she was forced to do something a little bit different than she normally does every day. And, being able to kind of stretch her wings and, move in a different area. She said not only was it a good learning experience for her, but it also made her more visible in her company.
Oh,
So that was
fantastic.
a great experience there.
Yeah.
Another one of our students is a business owner.
I was going to ask you about him. Yeah. What were some of the takeaways? I think that guy's name is Casey, right?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So Casey's part of our Future Leaders Advisory Committee at Penn-Northwest, and he represents an area of the county up in the Sandy Lake Stoneboro area, which I don't think we've done enough as an organization to really serve the business community in that region, but we're going to get better at it. And Casey's helping us with that. But what were his takeaways from the program?
Well, one of the things that he did was his take on it was he really understands the numbers better.
Oh, okay.
From the perspective of a business owner, it was kind of fuzzy stuff before, and now we can really kind of dig deep, look at look at data, make good decisions. In fact, one of the things he decided was that, while he was in the program, he went from one location to two.
Oh,
And
wow, I
so
didn't realize that.
he did,
Okay.
and the rationale or reason for it was he was able to look at it, look at the opportunity, look at what the positives, what the negatives were, a little plus minus
Yeah, yeah, the old
evaluation
matrix.
cost
Yeah,
benefit, and
right,
he
right.
decided now's the time to make a move. So I think that when you talk about benefit for somebody who's an entrepreneurial, it fit him to a T.
No, that's
So
great. Those are some great success stories. Tell us about the program where Mercer County businesses can sponsor or support one of their people to participate in the program.
well, that's one of the things we're really excited about. And the whole idea there is that, you mentioned earlier, strengthening the relationship between businesses and Teal, and the partnership agreement that we put together is one I think that's going to be fantastic. Now, if you're a business and you want to become part of this partnership agreement, we will give you the opportunity, for priority admission for 3 students annually. The cost per student is $26,000. And by doing that, you can get 3 students into the program. Some of the things that you end up doing there in terms of benefit goes, you'll have access to our career center.
Okay.
So if you want to, internships, either graduate level or undergraduate level, you get priority access there.
Oh, to other students that if you
Yep,
okay,
not just
not just
MBAs.
your employee, but not MBAs, other students coming through undergrad or other graduate programs, you may be able to you'll get priority at looking and to bring them in as interns.
Right, and
That's
then also
interesting.
there's you can link to our website so you're visible,
So
throughout
there's a
the
little
world.
cross marketing
There
opportunity there.
exactly, that
Okay.
we typically bring in speakers. We do a lot with innovation and entrepreneurship, different business speakers who come and speak to the MBA program, and we're going to give those businesses an opportunity to spend time on campus, listening to those speakers and take part in those programs, and the opportunity to network with those students, kind of an informal way, and kind of start building relationships with those students, before it's time for an internship or before somebody graduates and moves away. A little recap about the business partnership agreement to make sure everybody's clear on that. One of the things that's most important is there is a zero cost for the business partners. So the idea, and I mentioned before, $26,000, that's a discounted rate for students who want to partake in the MBA program. But the actual cost of businesses is zero unless they would decide that they would want to pick up the cost for an employee. Um, if the business chooses not to pick up the cost for an employee, obviously the student can apply for graduate student loans like any other student could. We've also had businesses talk about the idea that they're going to use the MBA as a item for retention. And what I mean by that is if a student would go through and the organization would sponsor them and pay for that cost of the MBA, they would sign an agreement where they would stay for a number of years. And as they complete that term, whether it's 3 years, 3 or 5 years, whatever it might be, the MBA would be paid for by the organization. If they would get the MBA and leave immediately, then obviously the organization is not going to pay for training for some other organization, and the student would be on the hook for the cost. Um, Again, I mentioned earlier the cost for an MBA is 26,000. We also have a organizational communication and leadership master's. It's 23,000. The MBA is open to all students. If one of the questions that somebody may have is, if I'm a non-business undergraduate, can I still get into the MBA program? We've partnered with an organization that is able to offer some courses that would get people up to speed very quickly. They would complete those courses. The total cost is $700. If you're able to, complete those courses and you pay the $700, Teal is good enough to refund that $700 to you once you register and start our program. So I think that there's a lot going on there. Um, And again, for the businesses, by having people who are in our program, who are gaining new skills and new insights, obviously is a good thing. You also have some benefits that go beyond that. You have priority access to spaces on campus. So if it turns out that your organization's small and you need a larger space to meet, I can't guarantee no cost, but it would be low cost and you would have priority access to it. If you're looking for an internship with an MBA, obviously that's going to work well. You may not be looking for an MBA, but you may need an undergraduate, and we can give you access to our students from that perspective. We also give access to not just internships, but students who are graduating, and you get priority with those students. So there's a lot that happens there. The link with the on the website, and I think that there's really no risk involved for a business whatsoever. You partner with us, and we're going to work with you, and we're going to make sure that throughout this partnership, good things are going to happen for your business, and good things are going to happen for our students. So I think that it's a win-win for both the businesses and our students. So I'm really looking forward to partner.
So if someone is looking at their company, maybe a succession plan or bringing someone up through to the C level, this program can really enhance their, by having those MBA initials after their name and giving them that experience. So, and that still is an 11-month program?
It's an 11-month program. And last year was our inaugural program, so we kind of learned by doing. And one of the things that in talking to businesses, they really like to have things that are known and things that are kind of set and how to plan. So what we've done is we've put the program in such a format that, again, it's always 2 classes at a time. There's 12 classes total. Classes run 7 weeks. So we run 2 classes. Now they're going to run Tuesdays and Thursdays. There'll be 1 class from 1 to 4, and then there will be a break, and then the next class will go from 6 to 9. So if you're a business owner or a company that would like to sponsor an MBA, the commitment essentially is Tuesdays and Thursdays, in the afternoon. And I know that the students who were working in the past, they really like the idea of knowing when and where they were going to be, and they can plan their kind of schedules around that.
Okay.
So it's it's firm, it's set. And we understand too that when you commit a student or somebody from an organization, business takes priority. And our students, they're professional enough, and we teach them to be professional, that if you're going to miss, you let us know ahead of time. We know how to make things up. Occasionally, you may have to do a Zoom class or whatever it takes. Our instructors, we will work with you to make sure that student, on our end, will support as long as you're willing to support them on your end.
So this being the inaugural year of the program, the pandemic's on everybody's mind as we come out of it.
Yeah.
What was that first year like? Doing rolling out a program in such an unprecedented time for education.
Well, you know what? I've taught strategy for a long time. One of the lessons I've always taught is that if you want to be successful as an organization, you need to be able to be flexible. You have to be able to adapt, and you got to pivot. And all of a sudden, I found myself doing those things I told everybody else to do.
And you had to do them all at one time.
All at one time. But it worked. And I think that it was a valuable learning experience for our students. I think our faculty took a tremendous amount away from it. As an MBA director, having done it for a long time, but never in a pandemic, I learned a great deal also, believe me. And I think that we're a stronger program for it. And, when you look at the big picture, to be able to come in and pick up an MBA in 11 months, that's just an amazing thing. The other part about it is it's not a diploma mill. We're not online. And again, there are some fine programs that are online, but ours is 11 months. You get that, face-to-face interaction, with our faculty. And one of the things in all MBA programs is that the relationships you develop with your with your colleagues and students are things that you take away, and they last forever. And I know that in speaking to our students who just graduated, they're still calling each other and asking questions. And I know that several have reached out to students and said, "What about this position here, that position there?"
So they're networking for jobs and opportunities that they're seeing out there in the market.
And they are. And I think they will continue to do that. And I think that those bonds are going to remain strong for forever.
No, that's a really feel-good part of the program I wasn't even aware of. We're going to take a very quick break from talking to Dr. Anthony Cause here on the campus at Thiel College, and enjoy this little segment on Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we'll see you when we get back.
Is your company looking to expand and grow? Then Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the right place for you. Whether your company is involved in manufacturing, technology, logistics, health, or business services, shale gas exploration, or retail, we can help. Mercer County, Pennsylvania offers low-cost land, valuable infrastructure, a quality labor force, and the right financial tools to make your corporate expansion an affordable reality. Mercer County is only a day's drive to major markets including Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, New York City, Chicago, and even southern Canada. Companies like GE Transportation, Joy Cone Company choose to make it in Mercer County, and Penn-Northwest wants to show you how your company can also make it in Mercer County too. Our team of experts will help you expand and save dollars. How does Penn-Northwest do it? How does Penn-Northwest save companies so much money? With a combination of low-interest loans, grants and credits, tax abatements, and even tax-free property. Here's the best part. Penn-Northwest will do most of the work for you. Just click on the button below and get the process started. Or you can first get an idea of how your organization can make it in Mercer County by using the savings estimator located at makeitinmercercounty.com. You'll see that expanding your business in Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the move that makes the most dollars and cents. Call Penn-Northwest Development Corporation at 724-662-3705 for more information.
Oh, welcome back to this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I want to thank again Dr. Anthony Cause for being with us here from Thiel College and the MBA and business program here at Thiel. And we said in the earlier segment, or you said in your earlier segment about your 32-year career at YSU. So I'm interested, as someone who grew up in Greenville, went to Thiel, what have you seen culturally that's different between YSU, a larger state university in Ohio, versus a small liberal arts campus in rural Mercer County?
Well, I think, one of the things you said was the size of the institution. And I don't know whether it's just YSU and Thiel, but YSU is about 16,000 or so. And the class sizes are always a little bit bigger. As an instructor, you may get to see a student one time or possibly twice. At Thiel, you see students, 3 or 4 times as they go through. Obviously, the MBA program more than that. One of the things that we do at Thiel is advise students. Now, at YSU, you do advising too, but it's not quite the same level of advising. At YSU, you might offer some career advice or something along those lines. But at Thiel, you're in the nuts and bolts of registration. You're meeting them when they're freshmen. You get to understand them and all the things that they go through, and you really develop deep, intense relationships with these students over a period of time.
So that speaks to me like maybe more opportunities for real mentorship.
It really
you can
does.
really see this kid, 18-year-old kid, become a young adult, and then an adult by the time you send them off into the world.
And you do. And as a department chair, I get calls all the time from different companies, employers, and they're looking for somebody for something. And I know them well enough to say, this person would be a good fit, and maybe this person wouldn't. Or this person maybe needs to work a little bit in this area to get up to speed for this particular company. So you really get to know them, at a level or a depth that's, far more intense than you do at a larger institution. So I think there's that part of it.
So let me stop you right there, because you just mentioned something I hadn't really thought of before, but you're actually getting direct calls from companies in the region saying, hey, I'm looking for this particular type of boy, girl, man, woman, whatever. Yeah. And you're able to kind of go down through that mental Rolodex of the people in your department and
I am.
That's amazing.
And I have faculty who are, I have wonderful colleagues that if it turns out that it's a CPA firm, I would call, Gary Witowski and Melissa Oakes, and they would tell me exactly who's in a program, what level they're at, and who would be a good fit at those organizations. So it's not just me. I got an entire department of faculty who do the same thing. and I talk to them. We're pretty much there on a daily basis. One of the things that Thiel does, and what I really like about Thiel, it focuses on students. It's a teaching institution. You're able to share what you know and what you've learned in industry with those students, and you're preparing them for the world. And not to say that you don't do that at YSU, that you do, but it's just different. I know that at YSU, one of the things that faculty did a lot of, and you had to do, was a lot of research. And sometimes research transfers to the classroom, sometimes it doesn't. But I know it takes a lot of time out of the classroom. You spend you spend as much time doing research and other things as you do teaching. Where at Thiel, there's more time actually teaching. At this stage of my career, to be able to interact and, somehow think that you're able to help students and give them some guidance, that's the real payoff for me. Uh, Not to say that the other part wasn't rewarding. I got about 24 articles out there that are
Yeah,
floating
I wanted to
around.
ask you about some of that. Do you miss that part of it now that you're running a department and managing faculty and interfacing with students? Do
Well,
you do
I,
you, do you
one
miss
of
the research and writing piece?
well, what I do, obviously, we all have to stay current. So to be relevant, you better keep up on your reading. You better attend conferences. You got to read the professional journals. The only thing I don't do is research that's research of discovery. Now I'm looking at some of the things that I'm doing with some of the students in the MBA program, and I'm actually going to work with a guy at YSU, do some pedagogical research on what our students are doing and how they're progressing.
Oh, that's
So it's
interesting.
it's research, but it has a little bit of a different focus.
It's like real-time research. You're
Well,
able
and what
to.
it's going to do, it's going to make everybody better in the classroom. So that's a kind of a different focus. So it's not that you don't research or you're not current. It's just your priorities kind of shift a little bit. And at this stage of my career and life, I think that the more time I spend with students, the more time it's enjoyable. It's just one of those things where, you know, I I I, I ran the hamster wheel. I did the tenure track. I've done it all before, and it's good stuff. And I'm not knocking anything
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but I think that anybody, as they progress through a career, you go through different stages. And now this is my opportunity to try to give back as much as I possibly can. And having done this, and you mentioned a pandemic, I'm
Yeah,
learning too.
yeah,
It's a good thing.
yeah. That's great. That's great. It's wonderful to have somebody overseeing and directing a program that still loves that hands-on working with students every day. I think that that's something that might be unique that gets lost at maybe larger institutions.
Well, and I think that probably not on purpose, but here because just skill. We know everybody, and like you mentioned before, having somebody come in and watch them, for a couple of years as they develop and they gain confidence and they become more professional, and they start, kind of honing their craft in terms of what they want to do. There's a lot of satisfaction in that.
Oh, that's awesome. Before we wrap up, I have to, and I ask a lot of our guests this question, especially someone like you that came to Mercer County from Lawrence County, but we say Mercer County as Lawrence is, but it's a wonderful place to live, learn, work, and play. What are some of your favorite things about being in Mercer County?
I tell you what, it's my uh, son and daughter went to Sharpsville, and I think they got a great education there. My daughter's still there right now, so I think the opportunity for an education is great. Um, I think that just part of the community, being part of something where it's kind of like Cheers, everybody knows your name,
Yeah,
and I think that's wonderful. Where you may lose that in a bigger metropolitan setting. I've always enjoyed living in the country, so I can hunt behind my house, which is kind of
yeah, that's
interesting.
great. I can too. It's something that you just don't, you take it for granted and you shouldn't.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah,
and I think that when you look around, the people are fantastic. There's a lot of opportunity here. Um, you can find anything in Mercer County that you can find anyplace else, and if you can't, you're only an hour from Pittsburgh, Cleveland, or Erie.
yeah.
So, and obviously, when I say that, I have friends in Pittsburgh. I could be downtown as quick as they can because sometimes driving across traffic, it's easier for me to take a straight shot in as for them to drive
Yeah,
from one place to another.
I
So I
used
have
to live,
no,
yeah, I used to live in the North Hills of Pittsburgh, and it took me about 45, 50 minutes to get to the airport from our office in Hermitage. 45, 50 minutes to the airport. So
But you got all the benefits.
all the benefits,
And,
all the benefits.
and you look at, now I think that when you compare yourself to Allegheny County, I know that I couldn't afford the taxes on my house in Allegheny County.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
well, obviously.
Well, we actually have that on our website. I think it's still on there, that we have a zip code calculator on there that you put in the zip code you're coming from and the zip code you're moving to in Mercer County. It'll actually give you a cost of living comparison, which is a pretty cool recruiting tool, I think. I did it for myself when I moved from Gibsonia, northern Allegheny County, and you can't even compare the housing costs, but utility costs, food costs, transportation costs, everything's lower here.
And, we kind of joke around the commute time, but it's wonderful because the tension's not there. That 45-minute drive, a straight shot to the airport, and you're going 70 mile an hour, not a problem. 45 minutes in town, cross traffic, horns blaring and beeping at people
Right,
and cutting you
right.
off. That's no fun.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, it's just a whole different way of life. And I think that, as a person who's raised a family in Mercer County, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, and I wouldn't either. I've tried to a couple of times, and I keep coming back. Tony. It's just something unique about this area, and that's part of the reason we do this program, is to try and connect Mercer County to, the greater universe out there through technology. And we can't thank you enough for spending a half hour with us, and the challenge that you took up to start this program out of the ground and got it up and running. I think it's just a real great opportunity for the college to have someone of your caliber here running the show.
Rod, I sincerely appreciate this opportunity, and hopefully for anybody who may find some interest in Thiel's business program or MBA program would kind of reach out and get in touch with me, directly or through Rod, and I'd be very happy to spend some time with.
Yeah, we'll make sure during and even the wrap up of the show we have all your contact information. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for watching this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. Again, I want to thank our guest, Dr. Anthony Cost, for making it in Mercer County. We're producing this show in the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios in the James Pettis Communications Center on Thiel's campus in Greenville. We want to thank the students, faculty, and staff who have helped bring this show to life. And if you have an idea or a suggestion for a future edition of Discover Mercer County Business, please connect with our Improvement Movement team on our website at penn-northwest.com, or please give us a call at 724-662-3705. And remember, you can also find out more about Penn-Northwest Development Corporation by searching for us on YouTube or connecting with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business, and we'll see you again next time.